Hey y'all, I'm Anna and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited because I finally have 3 recipes that I've filmed in my new kitchen. So I hope that you enjoy these recipes and let's go ahead and get started. Hey darling, what you doing? Are you watching mommy cook? Yes. Oh, the oven's preheated. You ready to watch mommy make dinner? Okay, I love you. Hey y'all, tonight we're gonna be making the Pioneer Woman's Beefy Sour Cream Noodle Bake. So I've never made this before, but I'm super excited to try it out. What I have here is a pound of ground beef. The recipe calls for 1.25 pounds, but I just have 1 pound, so I'm just gonna go with that. I have 8 ounces of egg noodles. We're gonna need some cheddar cheese, tomato sauce, sour cream, cottage cheese, and salt and pepper. The recipe does not call for this, but I always like to add in garlic powder and onion powder to pretty much anything. Oh, my baby's over there crying. What's wrong? What's the matter? He said, you're not giving me any attention. Y'all, he's the sweetest baby. I could not ask for a better one. He's so easygoing and happy all the time. Apparently, unless we're ignoring him. This won't take me long, okay? Okay, I just turned my heat on to medium-high, and I'm gonna brown up the ground beef. And then we're gonna add in some salt and pepper, some garlic and onion powder, and the tomato sauce. The ground beef is still cooking. My water is up to a boil, so now I'm gonna add in 8 ounces of egg noodles. Now I'm only gonna cook these for a couple of minutes. It says to cook them till al dente because they will cook more in the oven. Now I also wanted to mention that the recipe calls for a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, but I have a couple of little ones. These are each 8 ounces, so I'm just gonna add in both of these in just a minute. Alright, so the beef is almost done cooking. I'm just taking a paper towel here to get all of that extra grease off. Then we're going to add in that tomato sauce. Alright, so we're going to let this sit here for just a few minutes while we prepare the other ingredients. Okay, I just realized I had this in my pantry and I love mushrooms, so I'm going to add about half of this can. This is a big can, it's 13.25 ounces, and I did drain it, but I'm only going to add maybe half of this. The recipe does not call for mushrooms, so of course if you don't like mushrooms, leave it out. Alright, to my greased dish, I'm going to add in half of the noodles. Now half of the meat mixture. Now we're going to add about 1/2 cup of sharp cheddar cheese. And then we're just going to repeat those layers one more time. Okay, now we're gonna bake this at 350 for about 20 minutes. Hey y'all, so tonight we're gonna be making a quiche. I have shared this recipe with you before in the past, like 2 or 3 times, but it is like one of my favorite things to make. And I have a beautiful tomato that I cannot wait to use. It is like perfect. And so I don't wanna let another day go by without using it. So that's what we're gonna make tonight. I love tomatoes on my quiche, but you can put whatever you want in your quiche. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I've got some bacon cooking on the stove and I'm about to crack 7 eggs into this large bowl. My oven is preheated to 350 and right now I am baking a pie crust. I'm only gonna bake it for like 10 minutes to give it a head start because obviously it's gonna cook more once we actually put it all together and put it back in the oven. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack 7 eggs and then we'll add in a few more things. All right, so I went ahead and beat those a little bit. Now I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And some salt and pepper. I'm also gonna add in a few green onions. A lot of times I like to use fresh chives, but I don't have any right now. All right, just adding in a little bit of cheese. Okay, I'm finished with this for now. I'm just waiting on the pie crust. It'll be out of the oven in about 5 minutes and I'm gonna finish cooking up my bacon. Okay, I also wanted to show you what I do with my tomatoes. So, I love tomatoes on top of my quiche. It's my favorite part. And whenever I have a really good tomato on hand, like this is what I always make. Like I always just go for a quiche. So I slice it up like this and I put it on some paper towels. And then I put just a little bit of salt and pepper on each one. Oh, thank you. That was the end piece. And then I just let it sit on the paper towel like while I do everything else. Usually I do that first, but it's fine. And it'll kind of draw out the extra moisture. Because if I didn't do that and I put it on top of the quiche just like straight after I slice it, it gets a little bit watery and it could make your quiche soggy. So I always like to take the extra time to do that. And now it's ready for me when I need it. My pie crust just came out of the oven. It baked for about 10 minutes. And to my egg mixture, I'm going to take about 3½ pieces of bacon that I already cooked and just crumble it in. Now I'm ready to pour this into my pie crust. Next we'll add on some more cheese. More crumbled bacon. And lastly, we're gonna add the tomatoes. I'm just gonna make this fit as best I can. It definitely does not have to be perfect. All right, and now this is gonna go back in the oven at 350 for about 40 to 45 minutes. My quiche came out of the oven about 15 minutes ago. It's important to let it just rest and cool off for just a little while. It looks so good and it smells even better. I cannot wait to taste it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut me a slice. All right, y'all, this is so good. This is one of my favorite things to make. So I actually made some cheese grits for the kids. I know this looks like a hot mess, but it is delicious. So I'm eating my quiche with some grits, and you can see that like it's not dry at all. It's so yummy. And whenever you make yours, you just add whatever you have in the fridge, any veggies that you've got on hand, any meat, and it will be so good. Hey y'all, welcome to the last recipe for the video. We're gonna be making a Crockpot creamy chicken chili, white chicken chili, and I'm so excited to try this recipe. I saw Jess from Blessed Jess, I think I said that right. I'll link her channel below. She shared this recipe and it looked so good, so I can't wait to try it. What I have here is some chicken breasts. This is 2 big chicken breasts. I don't know how many pounds it is. And to that, we're gonna add some spices. First, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 3/4 teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of chili powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Of course, if you don't like spice, you can leave this out. Now I'm going to add in a diced onion, some minced garlic. This is 2 cans of Great Northern beans. I rinsed and drained them. 2 cans of diced chilies. The recipe also calls for a can of corn, but I don't have any corn on hand, so I'm just gonna leave that out. All right, and the last thing is 3 cups of chicken stock, so I'm adding 3 cups of water and a good spoonful of my Better Than Bouillon base. All right, this has been cooking on low for about 5 hours or so, 5.5 hours. So now I'm going to take my mix and chop and shred the chicken up really good. Now the recipe says to add in some cream cheese. I'm just not the biggest fan of adding cream cheese to things like this, so instead of that, I'm gonna add in some sour cream. I'm not really gonna measure how much I add. I'm just gonna do a couple big spoonfuls. And Katie Jane is right here helping me out, aren't you? Are you being a helper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cover this up and let it continue to cook for just a few minutes, and later we're gonna add in some cheddar cheese and some heavy cream. If you hear that noise, Owen is in the other room playing a video game, so sorry about that. All right, we'll see you in just a few minutes. Hey, what are you eating?
Cheese.
Is it good?
It's
Yeah. All right, so this has been sitting here for maybe 5 minutes. Let's face it, I'm impatient.
See me?
Yeah, they see you. Okay, so that sour cream has melted in there really well. All right, Katie Jane, are you gonna help me add some cheese to the soup? Here, you add this in and I'll add some in. We're just adding in some freshly grated sharp cheddar cheese. Feel free to add whatever kind you like. Be careful, it's hot. All right, and last but not least, a good splash of heavy cream. I'm not gonna measure, I'm just gonna put a big splash in. Oh yeah. And as always, I'll have the recipe linked below so that you can see all the measurements and go by that. Oh, this looks so good. Okay.
Hey, no one see you.
Yeah, you can't see me really, can you? That's kind of a good thing. I look a hot mess right now.
I see myself.
You do. All right, so I'm done for now. I'm gonna put the lid back on and leave it on low for another hour maybe, or I don't really know, however long until it's time to eat, maybe 30, 45 minutes. And when it is time to eat, I will show you my plate and let you know how it tastes. It is time to eat. Oh man, this looks so good and creamy. This is my kind of food right here. And I actually already tasted it earlier. It's really not spicy. Like, I think my kids would be able to eat this. They're not eating it tonight. I've got something else planned for them, but I think kids would love this. It's so good. I wish I had some fresh cilantro. I would totally put that on top. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you haven't already, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and leave me a comment down below, and I will see you soon. Bye.